I'd like to walk you through the monthly performance preparation and execution process. I want to do this to highlight a couple of key issues, including one, the timeline is much more compressed with this monthly cycle than a financial cycle. Two, the ability to check inside your functional area before you have the larger group meeting, and so forth. Let's take a look. Overall, I'm going to describe this in terms of sort of 6 groups of people. The data gatherer people, whoever is being the administrator of this overall system, the reporter, sponsor, the overall leader of the area, and then the leadership team. So of course it begins with the data gatherer who's going to input the performance and action data into whatever system you're using. Now, the administrator should probably review the data to make sure it's reasonable, same units of measure, do the trends make sense, and so forth. And based on that, probably produce and distribute that either electronically or in hard copy to the organization, and in particular to the reporter. The reporter is going to analyze and write a performance analysis. Now, it's important to note that we're already just on day 1. Literally, the moment the month is over, we should be able to input the data, and it should be able to be reviewed and be produced. So by the end of day 1, the reporter has that information and is writing the analysis, the what, so what, now what. Based on that, they're going to be able to send something back to the administrator who's going to consolidate all of the analysis and publish it. Again, we're now just looking at day 2 of the new month. Now this is going to go in a bunch of different places. It's going to go to the reporter who needs to review and determine whether all that makes sense and what the implications are. It also needs to go to the sponsor who's going to do the same thing. What does it mean in terms of the sponsor's role? The leader needs to take a look at it, as well as the entire leadership team. So it's published and distributed widely well before the meeting. We're saying day 3 of the month. Now what happens is the sponsor should also be able to take a look at that and determine if she or he needs to work towards getting more resources allocated towards that particular issue that they are the sponsor of, be that a process, an objective, or a project. The leader needs to take a look at it, and the leader is going to decide which of the strategic objectives need to be reviewed in more detail. See, typically we'd only spend 5 or 10 minutes per strategic objective, but you're going to pick off 2, 3, 4 that are going to require a substantially longer conversation because of some performance issues. And based on that, they're going to inform the reporter that they need to prepare for a detailed review. So the sponsor and the reporter are all going to work towards preparing that more detailed review of the objectives performance. Now, the leadership team is going to take that same first cut performance report and run a departmental or functional performance meeting to understand better how the performance has been caused by what they've done and what the impact of what they've done is. So we're now taking a look at the 5th day of the week. So imagine the month ended on a Friday. So by Monday, we've got the data in. By Friday, we've had the cascaded meetings. We've prepared for the final report out and so forth. So now by the following Monday, the reporter, sponsor, leader, and the leadership team can all conduct that one performance meeting on the 6th day of the new month. Based on that, they're going to come up with action items which will then get fed back and used by the next month to make sure that we're making and following up on the commitments that we have made. So this is roughly the performance cycle that we expect to see on a monthly basis. Because we're using available transactional data, we can get it early. We expect people to be able to do the analysis quickly because there's no benefit to delaying that. If it gets published to these 4 groups concurrently, they can all work on their part of it again concurrently to make sure that we're ready to have the cascaded meetings and prep, do the detailed analysis if required, and then very quickly move on to the performance meeting. And again, what we're trying to do is build the responsiveness and agility in organizations so that you can react to situations quickly. In fact, because we're using transactional data, if you did have a significant event, you could call this meeting at any point in time in the month and run it within 6 days of when that decision was made.